How's it going, you rapscallion bastards? The name's FOXSOL. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more beautiful WutheringWaves content right here on the channel. I hope you're having a good day. I just came off of work and I'm having myself a great old day because I got a 4-day weekend coming up, meaning we get to know life the hell out of this fucking game. And I wanted to take the time to go ahead and sit here and make a video that is going to be more well-rounded to the newer players rather than advanced players, rather than, you know, people's played this game from day one. And this video is going to be structuring your team. That is the main principle about this entire video, is some things you should be looking at, some things you should be doing when you are considering making your teams. So, with all the summon characters out there that you've probably collected and you're trying to get an idea of, you know, what I should be doing, let's get into it. Let's discuss it and let's have some fun. All right. So let's discuss this really. You're a new player, or, you know, you're a player that's trying to figure out, how should I structure? How do I optimize my team? How do I do this? You know, and I'm going to be honest with you, sir, or ma'am. Let's just say boo-boo, like I normally do. I'm going to be honest with you, boo-boo. Do you have fun? Do what you think is right first and foremost. Don't just take this video more as a suggestionary video to your development. And what I mean by that is that legitimately, I don't believe there is any wrong way of developing a character's team. I really don't. I think that, you know what? Let's take a look real quick at our resonators. I want to get this point across first and foremost, which is, doesn't matter what characters that you have. If you like a certain character more than others, let's say you like Varan right here. She is a straight up fucking support. You like her, you want to build her, you want her to be your main DPS, you can do it. It takes effort and time and patience to make that work. If you like, you know, Brazil here, the Brazilian fucking big booby bitch here, by all means, again, you can make her a main DPS. Don't let people tell you you cannot make her a main DPS. I have stated this in multiple games, from DMC to fucking solo leveling and stuff like this. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. Is it going to have the utmost maximum damage? Most likely not. Is it going to be optimal? Most likely not. But if it's something you like, then by all means, do it. Don't worry about what Reddit says. Don't worry about what this content creator over here says you should do. Take what they say, if anything, and use it as a suggestional bias. Say, hey, look, this is my suggestion. Don't take their word for God. But I will say, like, for me, what I end up doing when it comes down to, you know, characters and to what I like to play and to what I want to do. The first fucking team that I ever actually built in this game, I don't have it no more, but I'll put it together in a sense. The first main character I had was Shanwa here, and she is supposed to be quote unquote the sub DPS. I made her my main DPS. The support that I ran with her was this one right here, and what I ended up doing for it is I went ahead and I even just threw together, you know, another character in here that I didn't care about at the time, which I just threw someone like this on the team. And you know what? That's how I played the team in the beginning, in a sense, and I just had fun with it. Actually, it wasn't him. It was actually Lin Yang. And I just had fun with it. It worked for me. I liked it. I was focusing as Shanwa being my actual anchor on the team compared to the two supportive characters behind it, even though Lin Yang would technically be the main DPS. But I loved her because this is fucking Virgil. I loved her. I played her. I had fun. And that's, at the end of the day, what actually matters. But we started summoning characters. We started coming in. We got GN. You know, we got Jinshi now, we got Kao, which are actual main DPS characters. I played them, and you know what? I started liking what I was playing, and then I was trying to come up with, okay, you know, we have something that's called a tower adversity, which is over here, and I'm a guy who likes to show visualization, so I do apologize if y'all don't like this, but that's just how it is. But you see tower adversity right here. And in all honesty, every week there's 3 towers you need to complete, and you need basically 3 fucking teams for it. So the Gotcha Gods came out, and you know what? Guess what they did? I started summoning on the first banner, and I was not trying to get GN. I was actually trying to get, you know, more of Cal, because I was actually really fucking loving my Sephiroth looking motherfucker here. But the Gotcha Gods said, no, you're going to get this fucking character. I said, fine, fuck it. I played with him, and I ended up liking him. He's a brain dead fucking character, and I fucking love that shit. It's like Soul Bad Guy. He just comes in and punches shit, and that is just the fucking way I like to play. I don't like to think, I like to hit buttons, and that is what was perfect about GN. I didn't have to worry about timing. I didn't have to worry about anything. So I said, okay, what can I do with this character? Who would work best with the character? First and foremost, when it comes down to it, your main DPS is going to be the main character you're going to play. Your two subs on your team are worthless. They're only there for one purpose and one purpose only. They're only there to support the main DPS. That's what you got to remember. That's what you got to think of. So I started pouring all my materials. If you watch my videos in the past, I had discussed, you know what, I wanted to build up materials because the ecosystem at the time was kind of shitty, and I wasn't too worried about echoes or anything. Now, that's all been fixed. My prayers have been answered on how they want to handle that, and it works out wonderfully. And I did this instead. I didn't do a 5, build echo, and don't let someone tell you how to fucking do your echoes either. You do you, boo-boo. You have fun. Don't worry about what others say. I'm going to stress that as much as possible. Well, we did this. We built this character up. We put his echoes in. Now comes the time of how do we complement the character? Like the echoes complement the character. How do we complement the team to the character? My original team, in all honesty, was right here. Where Jinshi's at was GN was at, because Mortify right here, I had my healer and I had Mortify. Mortify is a great sub DPS that works with GN because his outro skill, this is where reading gets involved. This is where you primarily are focusing on. You don't give a fuck about anything else, really. Don't care about what the fuck their skills do or anything. You only care about that with your main DPS. As simple, I'm going to make this as simple as possible. Before we get into this is something that is very important. It's good to go read everything about all the characters, okay? But if you're not really too interested, focus only on understanding what your character's normal, resonance, forte, ultimate, intro, and outro does, okay? When it comes to all your secondary characters, like Mortify here, for example, you don't need to worry about none of this shit right here. You really don't. Only maybe just the alt. These are probably the main 3 things right here that you should probably be reading. But the one main thing you should only fucking really care about with that character is its outro skill. You're wanting to know, what is that outro skill going to do for GN or for your main DPS in that regards? So Mortify, as you can see, the incoming resonator gains 38 heavy attack damage amplification for 14 seconds, meaning that GN's heavy attacks are all going to be, quote unquote, 38% stronger than they were before for 14 seconds. Well, in GN's case, the reason why that works so well is because when we get into our alt state turns basic, heavy, and dodge counter into heavy attack. That's just what it is, and it deals aerial damage. So he's a great sub DPS. I looked at that, and I looked at, what is the outro skill for someone like her? And here it is. It heals the incoming resonator on 1.54% of, Bazil's max HP every 3 seconds for 30 seconds, and heals the resonator. The healed resonator has a damage amplification of 15% for 6 seconds. So I could do a rotation of her into Mortify and then Mortify into GN. And then boom, we're doing close to 150k damage from our alt and into our heaviest damage, and GN's just a powerhouse fucking nut. So that is what you're looking at when you're doing a team structure. You're looking at one character that you really like, that you want to be your main. And then from there, you're just trying to complement it. Just like the echo system. You're trying to take these echoes, you're trying to tune them correctly, you're trying to make those echoes work to the character itself. Same thing goes to the team. Now you're going to say, well, that's not the team you're running. You're correct. That is not the team I'm running anymore. The team that I am currently running, as you can see, is GN. It's going to be Jianxi, I believe her name is, and it's going to be Tao. The third character on this team, in all honesty, this one right here, I just put her in there to fill the team. In all honesty, she has no use in the team at this point. I have not figured out who I could use as a third team member that I would like to put on this team that will help complement GN. So basically, my focus is only on these two characters. The way I look at it is Jianxi, the only thing that she's going to do is straight up is that we're going to go ahead and pop out, you know, a shield to go into this, and then boom. She does her thing. Her outro is going to go ahead and pop off GN, giving him an alt damage increase. And it complements. It complements him very well. Probably not as good as Mortify or Mortify, however you want to pronounce him, but good enough for what I want to do. I'm still doing over 130k damage with my alt. I'm still fucking hitting my heavies fucking hard as shit, and it's working out tremendously well. The reason why I did this is because when we got Genshi became one of my new favorite characters in this game. I think she's cool. I think she's amazing. And I want to build a team around her structure. And this is just a generic healer. You could use Varan, for example, right here. And I know that you can change the sub DPS to Yenlin, to Wanwu, I forgot what his name is, Fedora wearer. But you can change this to another sub DPS, will do the same thing. But Mortify, his alt in particular, because I have developed him to be a cooldown reduction fucker to get, you know, as much energy as possible to keep popping his alt over and over and over again, to keep performing his outro skill. This allows it to where when we pop our outro skill, that at this point in time, we should have an outro skill that we can come in and we're building up the incandescence fast as fuck. Mortify is working straight up for me a lot better than I feel with the Yenlin, or before I pronounce his name again wrong, let me go take a look because I don't use him. Yanwu. So compared to Yanwu right there and to Yenlin, I find that Mortify, because I've tested them, I just find that Mortify just works a lot better. To me, he really does. He works a lot better with Genshi. And it was a fight because when I'm going to go do something like the Tower Adversity, you need 3 different teams to complete that. And to me, it was just more simpler just to go out of the way, just to say, okay, well, let's just find something else for GN, because GN is already brain dead motherfucker that does a lot of damage by himself. That I should be able to find someone else. And that's how we came up with that team. All it is just how do you complement your main DPS? And don't worry, you know, like I said, I don't know how much I can stress this, but I want to stress this one main component into anyone's brain. Things work differently for everybody. Just because someone says that this might work better, give it a shot. Don't get me wrong, give it a shot. See if it works better for you. But if it doesn't, and you find that, you know, this way you're doing things is a little bit better, do you. I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes into developing your teams, let's go ahead and drop down so I can get the teams. Don't worry if you got, you know, your main DPS is level 80 and then you got, you know, a level 70 or a level 60 fucking support character. The only thing that these characters matter right here, your sub characters matter, is they need to stay alive and they need to buff the main DPS. So I will always say that first and foremost in team structuring, find a character that you like. Treat this like a fighting game. Legitimately, treat it like a fighting game. Say, hey, you know what? I really like Jinshi. Someone out there probably does not like fucking Jinshi. You know what? You don't like Jinshi, don't play Jinshi. Put her on the side. Because if you don't like her, you're not going to want to play as her. You get my point? You're not going to want to do the grind for the character. It's going to feel like a chore. It's not going to be fun anymore. And that's what that's what I want to try to make sure other people understand. If you like the character and you think it's fun, you think it's cool, focus on that character. Build that character up. See what you could do with that character. Use that character however the fuck you want to use it. You like Cal? Work on Cal. Your subclasses, you don't have to worry when you first starting up your team building. You don't have to worry about leveling these characters up. So if you know, she would be level 50, for example, she would be level 50, but my GN's level 80. That is still good as a fucking team. You do not have to build the rest of your team up to the same level as your main DPS. That's something else I want to get across. Because again, the only thing that we're worried about these characters is their outro skill. We're just worried about popping them out. I could tell you right now, my Jianchi right here is a fucking tank. She is developed to take a hit just to go ahead, and she's developed with extraordinary fucking amount of fucking energy regen, and I'm still working on that. Just so that way her entire position is to come into battle, take a hit with a boss that's like a level 100 to where she's not going to die instantly, pop off her skill, pop off her secondary skill, build up the shield for GN and everything else, and then pop it back on to GN, to which by that time GN should have, hopefully, if I did everything correctly with my rotations, would have his alt ready to go to pop his alt off immediately, doing 130k worth of damage right then and there on the field. And then from there, I have a shield. I have a consistent 2000 healing that's happening every so often on my character until the shield elapses. And then it's just working to support him as the main damage dealer. That's it. So I know maybe this video is a little bit more convoluted because, you know, I like doing things as a podcast. I like talking about things like this, and I get a little bit random, and I apologize for that if I got a little bit off topic here and there. But I'm just trying to explain that when it comes to the structuring, you're looking at a few things with the other characters. You're looking at their skills, but you're mainly looking at their outro skill, and you're looking to see what the characters can do to help support your main DPS. Your healer is going to do what for your main DPS? It's going to heal. Your sub DPS should do what? Your sub DPS should go ahead and help to maximize the damage output that your secondary that your main DPS has. That's it. That is what you're looking for. And again, don't listen to people. You could do whatever the hell you want. You want to make a full team of fucking goddamn 3 supports, make a full team of 3 supports. You want to make a team of 3 DPSs, make a team of 3 DPSs. It's just that I will say that my only suggestion is that just make sure when you're looking at developing your team, make sure in your head and make sure from your testing, and a good place is, and that's another thing, going here to the map, right? And go and run around and go fight boss after boss, going here to the tactical holograms right here where you can fight bosses too at certain levels and everything, gives you a chance to go ahead and limit test your entire build, your team. It gives you a chance to limit test your team to go ahead to see if it's actually working the way you want it to work. If you caught me on my live streams, you'll see that I'll go to the holograph right here. I'll go ahead and do a build, and the first thing I try to go after is like for GN. If I go to do a GN build, I'm going straight to Tempest right here to go fight this son of a bitch, and I go fight him at the level 5 difficulty right now. I'm waiting to do level 6 because I'm waiting to finish my build off to test it to see, hey, is this going to work the way I think it's going to work against a level 90 opponent? And those bosses are a damn good fucking spot that I would suggest to use for testing purposes in that regards. So Otherwise than that, if you got any questions, comments, feedback, criticisms, whatever, leave them down below in the comment section below. Come check out the live streams if you want to come argue or whatever. Look, I'm a guy that likes to have conversation. I like to think because I do impractical builds. That's one of my best things that I have done, and I like making impractical builds work. And, you know, I know there's going to be a few people out there that's going to disagree with what I'm saying right now, and it's just what's going to be. And I don't mind. And I don't mind actually sitting there with anybody to discuss, you know, why I'm doing the way I'm doing things. And, you know, if you want to know, just come find me. Simple as that. But until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good one. And yeah, see you later.